Hey guys, welcome back to I don't know what episode this is, number-wise.
We stopped counting.
We stopped counting.
What is this? What are we doing?
Welcome back to Feast or Famine podcast. Wow. For a minute, I forgot what it was called because it's been so long since we've done one of these. And we're just going to keep rolling with it. I don't want to redo the
Since
intro.
we recorded one of these.
So here we go.
Because there was one last week.
Yeah. Welcome back to Feast or Famine with the Youngs. Boom. There we are.
Boom. We are the Youngs.
Yes, we are. I think, obviously, I'm on my game today. I think what we are talking about is that the fact that there's no substitute for experience.
You're on your game.
I'm really not on my game.
She's not, though.
Oh,
You
rude.
forgot the name of the podcast.
It is June. It is the middle of wedding season. Okay, have a little grace, please.
I have grace.
My mind is honestly in a lot of different places at one time. So,
Story of our life.
yeah, honestly.
So experience. Speaking of experience.
Yeah. Well, let's just do like a real quick. So y'all have already heard last week's podcast and the week before that with Ben, but those were filmed a while ago.
Yes.
So we really have been away from filming and podcasting for a while. There has been kind of a lot and like not a lot that's been going on. Just a lot of work.
Yeah,
We've traveled.
Lots of travel.
We took a vacation to Savannah.
We did. We shot a wedding in a blizzard in Colorado.
We did. Wait, I think we might have already talked about that on a podcast though, did we?
No.
No? Wow. Y'all have missed a lot.
Yeah. We did a blizzard wedding.
Yeah, like a literal blizzard. Like this wedding in Colorado, Colorado was expecting to get 7 feet of snow. Let me say that again.
Forecasted.
7 feet of snow, y'all. I'm 5'1".
Forecasted.
How tall are you?
And it did 5 something.
You're like 5'11"?
5'10".
5'10"?
I'll take 5'11".
Always take that extra inch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, it snowed a lot, but not 7 feet.
Yeah, we only got 4. I just bumped the mic, sorry.
I don't even know if it was 4. But the venue cleared the lot like pros. It wasn't actually that cold. St. Louis snow, frigid, cold, nasty, horrible. I'll take snow in Colorado every day.
Yeah, it really wasn't too bad. It was, so if Missouri would have gotten that much snow, though,
We'd have been stuck in our house for like 2 weeks.
like the state would have been shut down, and Colorado was popping.
Yeah,
Honestly.
and the heavens parted right before the ceremony.
We got blue skies, even though I looked at the forecast during, right before processional, and it said 100% chance of snow, and there were blue skies, no snow.
Correct.
The Lord is faithful.
Correct.
But
it was a great wedding.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What else did we do? Lots of just game planning and trips, and I mean, honestly, we just got busy in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no excuses.
Yeah, weddings are in full swing, which is amazing.
This is a whole new month
Yeah.
than last year. What were we doing this time last year? Scraping the barrel to try to keep weddings, and I think June
our business alive.
keep our business alive like everybody else.
Literally.
I think we picked up some last minute weddings in June, or was that later in the summer?
I don't know.
I don't know. June was, I don't know. It feels right.
It does feel right.
Feels like, we.
And it feels summer because it's hot as heck outside.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think we were outside much last year.
Yeah.
I ain't used to this anymore.
I know.
So.
But yeah, anyway.
Let's get on topic.
Yeah, moral of our little introduction, we've been doing a lot and not a lot at the same time.
But
all the same stuff.
what we haven't been doing is recording these, but that's going to change, and we're recording these now.
Yeah, here we are.
So never fear, you won't lose us again for that long of a period of time. So,
yeah, okay.
So we are talking about experience.
Yeah.
And how basically in any industry, anything you do, there's no experience for experience. There's no substitute for experience and the knowledge that you gain from that experience.
Right. I think now, obviously, we're going to relate it to our jobs, which is weddings, photography, videography, all that jazz. But I think overall, this encompasses anything in life. Any type of job that you have. That's why people ask for your experience when you fill out like a job application.
Right. Like you can go to school and learn all the how-tos and what to do. You can take all the workshops, all the continuing education.
Ooh, I have an example.
You can, what did I say in the car on the way here?
I don't know.
There was an example I gave. You can do all the things. You can have the best gear in the industry.
So, for example, not wedding related. If I needed
You just cut me off.
Sorry, babe. Love you.
I wasn't done with my sentence.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot now.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is that if I needed a lawyer and someone like just graduated from law school, I had to pick either this person that just graduated from law school or a lawyer who has been a lawyer for 10 plus years. I'd probably choose the lawyer of 10 plus years because they know what they're doing in the courtroom. Not that a law student does. I think they obviously do. That's what they went to school for, right? But like they haven't been, in
the thick of it?
They haven't been fighting for somebody in the courtroom for multiple years.
Right.
Not that I don't know a lawyer. Just saying. Just an example.
But like for our industry, you can go to workshops. You can have the best gear, most high dollar gear. You can go to school and get a degree. There's a photo and video degree. They have those. Mm-hmm. But if you've never actually shot a wedding that you booked yourself
and done the process
and
from
done the
beginning
whole
to
process
end.
from inquiry to delivery,
there's no substitute for that.
You learn. There's so much value to just doing it.
I think what's interesting about this topic is that education in our industry is very important. But there are also some people who are super addicted to it. And I think that it's kind of a weird thing because it's a general thought that like it's never bad to just overeducate yourself. Like it's always good to be learning, growing, all that stuff.
You should be
doing that.
Like broadening your education and like getting better.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah. But if you're educating yourself doing like workshops, online, like Zoom calls or like whatever you're doing, but you're not actually putting it into action and getting the experience from the education that you've learned, it's almost pointless. Would you agree?
I wouldn't say it's completely pointless, but you're not going to get everything. I mean, you're not going to learn what you need to learn without
unless you
actually
implement it.
Doing it. I can learn how to build a house all day long, but unless I build a house and build another house and build another house and build another house, why would somebody hire me to build them a house?
Right.
Just because I know how to build a house doesn't mean I can build a house.
Yeah. Show me.
If that makes sense.
Show me the proof.
There is proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
How'd that phrase actually come into existence?
Proof in the pudding.
There's the proofs in the pudding.
Is that even right? I don't know. I don't think that doesn't sound right to me. Proof in the pudding?
Hey Siri, what does "there's proof in the pudding" mean?
Here's an answer from Ritingexplained.org. The phrase "the proof is in the pudding" means that the best way to know if something is true or not is to experience it firsthand.
It is real.
Okay. I guess it just sounds kind of weird.
It is weird. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
We're not going to do that. Go through that though, because that's a lot of search. Anyway.
So, like for example, I have witnessed some photographers or videographers say, "I've been in the wedding industry for 10 plus years," but really, what they mean is they've second shot weddings for maybe 5. Maybe took a break for a year and then started their own business, or
like did it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Like not like full
shadowing
bore serious
people.
shadowing, like that sort of thing.
And I would say that in terms of them calling that their experience, I would say is inaccurate. If a client asked you, "Hey, what's your experience in weddings?" and that person was to say, "I have 10 plus years of experience in weddings," I feel like that's not false completely, but if they're hiring that person to be the lead shooter, then they need to have experience as the lead shooter, because I'll tell you what, it's totally different being a second shooter and then being the lead on a wedding day. As the lead, you make decisions. You have to make executive decisions sometimes if there's nobody else to make them. You are support for the couple, support for the couple's parents, family. You run timeline. There's so many things. And with a second shooter, you're a helping hand, and you're shooting different angles maybe and helping with gear, all that kind of stuff.
And you're not editing. You're not delivering with the client.
Yeah.
You're not usually communicating with the client at all before and after
Right.
the wedding day.
Right. So like client communication comes in for experience. Like so many things are involved in that process.
Marketing, budgeting. You're not worried about like budgeting in a sense of your own business.
Right.
With the second shooter, you work, you get paid, and you don't have to think about that day ever again.
Mm-hmm.
But for booking it yourself, you are from the time they inquire till the time that you deliver their product, and sometimes further beyond that, you are in that job.
Yeah. I think a better question to ask is, how many weddings have you shot? And if you are more specific, how many weddings have you
How many weddings do you shoot per year
per year?
on average?
Yeah.
Because like if you've been in the wedding industry for 10 years and it was a hobby, you maybe shot 3 to 5 weddings a year.
Right.
And it's just like going to the gym and exercising a muscle. That muscle is not going to get stronger by working out once a month.
Right.
But you have to do it a lot throughout the year.
And I think also I want to say that, we're talking about this in the sense of like someone who they own their own business and they're wanting to be a lead photographer or videographer in their business. When it comes to someone who is newer, having that experience of second shooting, of shadowing is very important. And you should be doing that. Because you do learn kind of the ins and outs of how things work on a wedding day.
Just by watching
just by attending, just shooting and alongside of someone who is experienced. And that is a necessary step, but eventually you have to make that decision of when you're going to take the leap to be the lead. And you just kind of have to start doing it. But I think there needs to be like clear expectations between you and the client when they're asking, what's your experience?
I agree. Because, I mean, it's a very vague situation. And one thing that, to kind of go to the other side of the coin, but like the clients and like for inquiries, we get this a lot, and we've gotten it a lot. I know a lot of people have gotten this a lot just based on questions in the Facebook groups and stuff, is what gear do you shoot on? Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, these days it doesn't really matter.
I mean,
it matters to an extent, but it shouldn't be a question that the couple asks, because
unless they are knowledgeable of like photo and video equipment.
I even disagree with that I disagree with that to an extent too.
Okay, why?
Because, for instance, to be very specific, I'm not a huge fan of Panasonic anymore because I don't like their colors. Teach their own. People that shoot Panasonic are great. White and Reverie is one of my favorite wedding film houses.
And they shoot Panasonic.
And they shoot Panasonic, and their stuff looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So, just asking, even if you know isn't going to give you the full picture of their experience and how good they are at their job. Because somebody that can...
So you're saying that the gear that you use isn't a substitute for experience?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those things that clients actually ask often is what gear you use. Somebody could have a $10,000 camera, and if they don't know how to use it...
Or they don't have the experience using it.
Or they don't have the experience using it,
mm-hmm.
they're not going to give you a good image. Somebody with a entry-level camera that costs under $1,000 can give you an incredible... product if they have the experience and know what they're doing.
That's true. I agree.
So I think that I hope.
And we've talked about that before. Like, you don't always need like the newest and the best gear to like put out good content.
And it's also not a sustainable business model to begin with because it's expensive.
Right.
To just buy new gear every single year because technology.
And we've talked about that before.
Yeah, technology expands so fast that it's not feasible.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter if you have great gear if you don't know how to use it. And you learn how to use it by using it
Right.
over and over and over again. And this brings me up to my next point, facing the challenges that come with any part of the day, whether it's a challenge that you experience during the day of, a challenge you experience before the day of, a challenge you experience with your gear after the fact, during the day, whatever. All those things, education, there's no amount of education that can prepare you for some of those challenges that you have to attack and overcome. And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't overcome it, and you have to know how to get through that even.
Yeah. I'm going to tell a story about 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, okay.
we were having, I was having some camera issues, and I literally could not use the lens that I needed to use
Like
for
the
the rest
lens
of the
that
day.
lives on her camera that
Yeah.
she uses probably 90%
It's like
of the
my
time.
comfort zone. It was important that I was able to do that. Alex, literally, thank God, it was just photo only. We were doing bridal party, and I sent him home to get extra cards.
Right.
But I was like, okay, well, I just got to switch it up. I got to use my secondary body, which is why you bring one, in case something happens.
And
And
if you don't have the experience to know that,
right.
I mean, you can be told that, but
Yeah, so I had to use that. I also had to use a different lens. So like I had to totally change up, what I'm comfortable shooting. My go-to way of shooting a wedding, I had to switch everything completely because I had to use an 85 opposed to a 50. And if you know anything about that, it changes a lot. And Alex went home, got new cards. But my point is that internally and to Alex, and he knew, I was freaking the F out. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I probably freaked out a little bit too much because I had it under control. It was taken care of, but the planner didn't know and the couple didn't know. And we made it through the wedding day. And there's nothing that can substitute or nothing that you can do to prepare you for something like that. And it just, shit happens, y'all. Like that's going to happen to every wedding photographer out there. And you just have to figure it out. The first time something ever happens to you, you just have to figure it out. But the next time a dilemma happens,
you're prepared
you'll be more prepared because you've learned from whatever happened in the past.
And then to add on to that point, we should focus a lot on the fact that the planner didn't know and the couple didn't know that this was even happening, that we had an issue. Why? Because we're experienced enough to not show that, oh my gosh, we're freaking out, we're frustrated.
Yeah, internally my body was on fire.
I mean, we've had other
externally
situations too.
I looked like a happy
I can
bubbly.
think about one too. It was one of our first weddings of 2020 that we did after the COVID situation, like when we first started to pick weddings back up again, and it was out of town, about 2 or 3 hours away, not close enough to run home if we have to run home. Luckily, this one we did. And not only did I have issues, did my second shooter have issues, Veronica also had issues.
Yeah.
So all three of us were having tech issues. I had a cable go out that runs to the hard drive on the camera that I was shooting with. We were having card issues with my second shooter's camera. I don't remember what was the issue with your camera.
I don't really remember, but there was something going on.
We were all
with it.
like right before the ceremony.
Yeah.
And we're in the back corner, like having
What?
mild freakouts.
What the heck is happening? Like all of our gear was not working.
So like we basically like had,
Side note, what's really weird about all of that, and we kind of joke about it now, wasn't there a thing about that church being haunted?
something like that.
Yeah, and then none of our gear was like working right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway.
We should do a paranormal podcast. Anyway.
Tell ghost stories. Ooh.
So we were able to, because we were down to like 10 minutes before the ceremony started. So we were like, okay, what can we do to at least get us to the end of the ceremony?
Like at the end of the day, we just need to capture this.
And then we can,
The
we have a
best
little bit of
way-
time
to the best of our
after.
ability.
We'll figure it out after. So we
Yeah.
did that and we got through it. And this was a year ago.
Yeah.
It ended up, turned out fine. But I would say that a less experienced or a beginner that had an issue with every piece of gear that was at that day would have had a meltdown, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless they're good under pressure, but still, like, there's a level of experience that's required to handle a situation like that.
Yes. And this is a hard topic, because when we are talking about these things, these are the types of things that may scare people from taking that leap to becoming a full-time like photographer or videographer. But these things happen. And if you spend enough time like second shooting or shadowing people, more than likely you're going to at least witness this. So you will have that knowledge of like, okay, I need to have backups if I'm going to be doing this on my own. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to hopefully learn that before you make that jump, that you need to at least have another option in case everything just goes to shit.
And those two examples are really just like gear related.
Yeah.
So what about the example where mom or dad gets super pissed off about something?
Yeah,
I'm not going to name any specifics, but it's happened occasionally.
To us, yeah.
And I mean, when you get a parent of the couple whom probably is paying for, helping pay for, whatever,
yeah,
this wedding, and they're paying you.
Yeah, that's really tough.
And they get super mad about something, even if it's not warranted or whatever. You have to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah. And learn how to communicate back with them
without being like, so when I first start, I get feisty if somebody gets feisty with me, but this industry has taught me to tone it down. Be reserved, be very respectful, kill it with kindness, and also deflect to Veronica. Because she's better than me at that.
It's true.
But yeah,
insert Dwight moment. It's true. Yeah.
So we could go on and have examples all day long.
All right, you wrap it up for us.
So with that being said, I'd like to know specifically your guys' thoughts. So if you're not listening to this on YouTube, let's have a conversation there. Go over to YouTube if you're not already there. Find this video and talk about what you think as far as like what sort of experience has made you better at your job, and what did you learn from that experience that you can add value to your services?
That's good. And I've kind of hit on this a couple times, but I want to be really clear that I don't want us to come across being discouraging and saying that you can't do it if you don't have the experience. You can definitely do it, but like just be honest about your experience in regards to your job. And you're not going to get it unless you just do it. So just do it.
Right.
Anybody can do it, and you're awesome. So just do it.
Just don't lie about it.
Yeah. And we're not saying that people are lying about it. I'm just saying, just be honest about your experience.
Right. Hey, I've shot weddings for the last 5 years, but it was hobby.
It can be a dynamic answer, but just make it straight to the point.
Right.
And people will appreciate that, I think.
Yeah. Just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Fail and get over it and meet the challenges and get past them and be better because of it.
Yep. All right. I think that's it.
So make sure you subscribe to wherever you're at so you can get notified when the next one comes out. And we will see you next time.
All right, guys. Have a good one.